Hello, this is Will the Most. I'm back for Season 8 of the Hive, this time in the Kakuna division. I'm not really good at staying still. I've been jumping between divisions for 8 seasons in a row now, but whatever. I'm feeling good about this season so far. So, this is my team. Shout out T Riches for putting me at the bottom of the power rankings. That's where I thrive. It's where I do my best work. This reminds me a lot of my Season 3 team, which I'm pretty sure was the last time I was in Kakuna. That was a team that had Heatran, Dragonite, some other Mons. And it was a really interesting team. It was hard to use, but it led me to innovate and try a lot of new sets, and I feel like that's what's going to happen with this team. Because this team looks not very good. I'm just going to go through each Mon one by one and then talk about the team as a whole. So I had the second overall pick. I was not ready to pick. I was hoping to have a later pick. I was the last person to pick second overall, and I saw that in every other league, Tapu Koko and Dragapult were the top two picks, so I was like, fuck it, we're going Dragapult. Dragapult is a mon I use a lot on the OU ladder. It has a great speed tier at 142, only outsped by mons like Mega Beedrill, Megazam is banned, Ninjask, but no one's going to pick fucking Ninjask. So yeah, and then Scarfers. Probably some other Megas that I can't think of right now. It's a great mixed attacker. 120 base attack, 100 base special attack. Those don't sound amazing, but then high power base moves like Dragon Darts, Draco Meteor, Fire Blast, Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball, and just really good coverage. Steel is great. It can run a lot of sets from a Dragon Dance set to Specs, Life Orb, mixed attack. It can run a support set with Will-O-Wisp or Thunderwave and then Substitute, and then Hex. And it could also just do a lot of really interesting stuff. Ghost types are generally tricky, and so it's a really fun Pokemon to use. I'm really looking forward to using it this season. And it's because of its high speed, it's really easy to do interesting stuff with TVs. So for my next pick, I decided I wanted to take a Hawlucha Tapu Lele core. I was going to take Tapu Lele first, and then I realized that Bronson was definitely going for the Lucha Coco core, so I took Hawlucha first. So fuck you, Bronson. Hawlucha's a really good late game sweeper. I think it's undervalued being in tier 2B. I think it should be 2A at least, because pairing this thing with any terrain setter gives it an instant +2 to its speed, and then a +1 to its defense or special defense, which is like incredible. And then mix in a pretty solid move pool that has like close combat, U-turn, Brave Bird for good offensive moves, Throat Chop, I think, Scissor, and then some really interesting support moves like Defog, Taunt, Roost, so you could do some fun stuff with that. It also effectively runs a Sword Stance set or a Bulk Up set with Substitute, so I'm really interested to see how I can use this mon with Unburden and Limber being pretty solid abilities, and there's just a lot you can do with it. So my next pick, I took Tapu Lele, because I needed the terrain setter for Hawlucha to get the +2 Unburden. And Tapu Lele hits like a truck. I'm not loving Tapu Lele, personally. I've never loved using it. I think it's hindered by its move pool, its middling speed tier, and its not great physical defense, and then low HP stat. However, where it makes up for that is 130 base special attack with Psychic Terrain, makes it hit like a fucking truck. So because of that, I think Tapu Lele can do some interesting stuff. It's a Psychic type, so it has all those wild moves like Wonder Room and stuff. I'm not sure if I'm going to use any of them, but it could be fun. And then just like Scarf set, Spec set, Calm Mind are its bread and butter. It can be used in many other ways I'm not going to divulge now. And then having it there to set the terrain for Hawlucha to use the Psychic Seed is just a huge plus. So I think I have a really amazing offensive core with my first 3 picks. So for my next pick, I decided to need some defense. I decided to go for a bulky water. And it's not a season of the Hive, but I don't pick Milotic. I use this mon, I think, in at least 4 or 5 seasons of the Hive, including this one now. I think the power creep has harmed it a lot. And just how everything seems to be getting stronger. The moves seem to be getting higher base power. Every Pokemon's attack set just seems to be rising and rising. And I do think that is harming Milotic. However, Marvel Scale with the Flame Orb is still incredible. 125 base special defense with 100 base HP is amazing. Solid special attack. Does it have 100 base HP? I don't remember. It might be like 85. But good base HP, good special defense. Marvel Scale gives it great defense. A solid special attack. Lots of interesting sets you can do. I can see people thinking about running like Coil, Waterfall, Triple Axle is fun. Competitive like Scarf sets to work off of Intimidate Mons are fun. But most of the time this will be my main defensive Pokemon. I ran a really interesting light screen set with it where I ran Fizz Def light screen and it completely walled out Jarrett's entire team back in season 4. And so I just really like Melodic. It's a really versatile mod. It can shut down setup with stuff like Haze, Toxic, Recover, Scald. It's like its bread and butter set. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to what I can do with this mod. My next pick, I needed a Steel type. I needed a Rocker. Bronzong was on the table. Bronzong is a really interesting pick because depending on the matchup, it's either going to be the best Pokemon or awful. Because there's some teams that just can't really touch Bronzong. It has 2 incredible abilities. It has a Stealth Rock Setter, obviously. And then it can do stuff like Toxic, Future Sight, Gyro Ball, Earthquake. Just a lot of different potential with this Pokemon, which is really fun. And so I'm very excited to see what I can do with it. I don't know if I'm going to be good at using it or not, but I knew that I needed something to counter offensive fairies. Because if you look at Dragapult, Hawlucha, Milotic, Tapu Lele, nothing really there does that. And so my team has a lot of glaring weaknesses so far. One of them being the lack of removal of the defog Hawlucha. So I decided to pick up Sarina because Sarina helps me take on bulky water types. Obviously something that people often look for in drafts. It has Rapid Spin, which got buffed this generation, so it takes that 72 base speed, adds +1, and at that point you'll be speeding like base 120 Pokemon, so that's pretty cool. 120 base attack is huge, so Power Whip and High Jump Kick coming off this is no joke. It's a pretty... I've used it multiple times in the past. Every time I use it, I feel like it should be better than it is. But whatever, it has good support with Knockoff, U-Turn, Aromatherapy, Synthesis, Rapid Spin, and then good offense with Knockoff, Power Whip, High Jump Kick, U-Turn, Trop Kick. I guess Trop Kick is more of a utility move, but yeah. So my next pick, I decided I wanted a little bit more speed. I wanted to fix my speed tier, so I went for Heliolisk. I just like Heliolisk. I think it's fun. At this point, I was considering doing like a pseudo Sun team, so like Heliolisk with solar power is fun. Even if I'm not doing that though, which I didn't end up doing. Heliolisk has a good speed tier, can run Scarf Set, Spec Set, or Life Orb. Having Surf on this Pokemon is a godsend now that Hidden Power is removed, so it can still hit ground types. Hyper Voice is great for just a normal move. It gets U-Turn and Volt Switch, so it adds a lot of momentum to my team, which is something that my team is good at because of the Pokemon I have so far. Dragapult, Hawlucha, Sarina, and Heliolisk all get U-Turn or Volt Switch. So that's really nice. I just needed a solid special attacker, and I feel like Heliolisk really gave me that. So yeah, and it's immune to water, so that's pretty cool. My next pick, I wanted another rocker. I wanted more defense, so I went for Mudsdale because Mudsdale should not be tier 5. This thing is busted. If you're against a physically based team, if you get this thing in, start getting stamina up, go for rest, go for body presses, Toxic, Earthquake, Stealth Rocks. It's absurd. This thing is like unkillable if you play it right. And yeah, I think it's a fantastic Pokemon. Obviously, it's weak to special attacks, but even then, water, grass, and ice types are, gonna do well against it. But even then, it has base 100 HP, and then base 85 special defense isn't bad, and then base 125 attack is huge. So this Pokemon can do a lot more than you're probably expecting it to. So I'm really excited for Mudsdale because I think it's a great Pokemon. At this point, I decided that I wanted Grimmsnarl and Mega Houndoom, so I just needed a tier 5B. And I was like, yo, I want Aggron. It's probably not the best pick, but I did need a really good offensive breaker. And Choice Band, Rockhead, Head Smash just obliterates anything except for like Mudsdale, or like good ground types or rock types. Or not rock types, good ground or steel types. So I just really like Aggron. I think it's really fucking cool. It's really fun to use. I don't know if it's going to be great. I don't know how often I'm going to bring it, but I really like it. And hey, with the removal of hidden power, it can take on some special attackers, like flying type special attackers. That's best move to hit it is Heat Wave. Or stuff like Volcarona, even, I could probably take on. It could probably take a +1 flamethrower if I run the right set. So, could be decent. So, my next pick, I need to pick a Mega. Mega Houndoom provides great special attack with base 140. Dark Pulse and Flamethrowers, great coverage. It gets Sludge Bomb also. It does get walled more by good special walls. However, it can be a great late game cleaner if I play it right. Nasty Plot Set is fun. It also has some interesting moves in its moveset. I'm not sure how well this pick is going to pan out, but I did need a fire type. And then I did need some more offense. I love its speed tier. So my speed tiers are 142, 118, 115, 109, 95. I think that covers a huge range for the higher speed tiers. I think it's great. Yeah, I think it synergizes well offensively with Hawlucha, where it just obliterates psychic types. It can really help out bait in fairy types and then kill them with Sludge Bomb, and then that can lead Hawlucha to doing well. So yeah, overall good mid to late game cleaner, good special attacker. The only Pokemon on my team that's weak to rocks, so that's pretty cool. In particular, I'm not too worried about Hazard with this team. Having a grounded poison might have been nice because I can see this team being weak to toxic spikes with the lack of reliable recovery. However, if I do see toxic spikes coming, I can bring like Aromatherapy, Rapid Spin, Serena, so whatever. And for my final pick, I went Grimmsnarl. I think this is a really fascinating pick. I think Grimmsnarl has an amazing base 120 physical attack. However, its main use is utility. It has Prankster, obviously. It's like a new age Sableye. Dual screens, Thunder Wave, lots of fun shenanigans you can pull with that. I think something underrated about having Grimmsnarl on your team is if I have a Grimmsnarl and my opponent has like Volcarona or a good setup mon like that, they're going to think, oh shoot, he's going to bring a T-Wave Grimmsnarl, so I need to bring Lumberry or Substitute, and that wastes a move slot or makes it so they can't run heavy duty boots or Life Orb or anything else. And so because of that, Grimmsnarl was really limiting for my opponent in team prep, which I think is fantastic. Having physical fairy type stab is incredible. It's super underrated. It's a little bit expensive at a T3 or B for 100 points, but I think it's definitely going to be worth it. If it's not, whatever, I can just drop it in like 2 or 3 weeks. But I'm really excited to use it because I think it's a really tricky mon if it's my playstyle well. And yeah, overall, this team is really heavy on hyper offense. The Pokemon with the lowest base attack or special attack is Bronzong at 89, and then second place of that is Hawlucha at 92. So that just shows how ridiculously offensive my team is. I think this team's going to be really easy to prep for, but really hard to play against. I think I'm going to do really well at covering for its weaknesses. I really want to put my all into the prep this season. So yeah, I'm super excited to use it. Is it a great team? No. But I do think it's a really interesting team, a really unique team, and a team that provides me with everything I need to succeed in this league. So we will see how it plays out. But overall, I'm feeling cautiously optimistic. Kakuna has some really good coaches this year. But I do feel like if I'm on my game with this team, I'll be able to do well. It's not a team that everyone can use because it caters to my sort of playstyle of just like being stupid. But I do think it's going to work out. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions about the team or like what I'm thinking, just make sure to let me know. I'm always around. And peace.